This class is brought to you by the LA Care and Blue Shield Promise Community Resource Centers. The centers are a place to help you be active, healthy, and informed. We hope you enjoy this virtual class.
Hi, my name is Sonia Guzman. Thank you so much for joining me for today's cooking class, where we are going to be talking about fruits and vegetables, and we are going to be preparing a delicious dish using the vegetables that you see here today. The dish that we are going to be preparing today can be eaten as either a side dish or a main dish. It just really depends on you. So let's get going with today's class because I want to show you how to make this delicious meal. And the nice thing about it is that it is very easy to make. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's first talk about why it's important to have fruits and vegetables in our diet. We hear that a lot, right? Maybe you go to the doctor, or maybe you've been to a nutrition class where you hear that message consistently and constantly. Make sure that you eat fruits and vegetables. Why is it important that we have fruits and vegetables in our diet? One of the reasons that we want to make sure that we have fruits and vegetables in our diet is because fruits and vegetables actually provide a lot of nutrients. There are vitamins that are known as antioxidants, particularly vitamins A, vitamin C, and vitamin E, and you can actually find those vitamins in fruits and vegetables, especially vitamin A and vitamin C. So what does antioxidant mean? Antioxidant basically means that it's going to help us prevent things like cancer, or at least certain types of cancers. Antioxidant also means that it's going to make sure that our bodies are really strong. Let's say, for example, that somebody has a cold or has a flu. Antioxidants will help us to make sure that our bodies are strong and reduce the potential of getting that cold or flu from that person. Now, fruits and vegetables, it's not only important that we eat them, but it's also important that they are part of a healthy diet. So if we want to reap all of the benefits of fruits and vegetables, for example, with vitamin A, that it can help us with our eyesight, vitamin C, that it helps us, as I mentioned, not just to fight colds, but also with things like keeping our skin healthy, keeping our cells healthy, because it helps to produce collagen, then it must be part of a healthy diet. When it's not part of a healthy diet, we can definitely still reap the benefits of eating fruits and vegetables. It might just take our bodies a little bit longer. So how many fruits and vegetables do we need to eat per day? So here I have a 1 cup measure, and the recommendation for fruit is going to be anywhere from 1 to 2 cups per day. And it's going to depend on things like gender, age, physical activity level, and even other things such as health condition. Those are the factors that it's dependent on: age, gender, physical activity, and any health conditions that the person may have. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, 2 cups, right? You say, well, that's doable. But even so, we tend to not eat enough fruits and vegetables. Now, with vegetables, it's a little bit different. We still want to use the 1 cup measure, but now we're talking 2 to 3 cups per day. Again, depending on the same factors that we mentioned for fruit. So if you notice, the recommendation is actually higher for vegetables than it is for fruit. And so that's really what we want to do. So let's say, for example, that we are going to make ourselves a smoothie. If the recommendation is that we eat more vegetables than fruit per day, then that's something that we can also consider when preparing our smoothie. We might want to add more vegetables than fruit and then really make it a better meal. Now, what about if my meal is not going to be, say, a smoothie or something small? What if we are talking about an actual meal, like, say, for example, dinner? So the recommendation for that is, first of all, for us to look at our plates. The average plate right now measures about 12 inches in diameter, and the plate size that is recommended is actually 9. So you're talking about more space, right, that we have available now. And usually when people have more space on the plate, they will fill it up, right? And 12 inches, that's usually the average. But now we might even go to places where there's actually even like trays that people eat off of. And so portions and plates have just been getting bigger over time, which we can say is part of the reason that we are having obesity problems here in the United States. Now, along with using a smaller plate, there are also tools such as this one that we've been talking about, and such as this one here as well, that can help us measure our portions. So here, for example, this shows you that this would be your portion of protein, this would be your portion of starch, and then you have 2 for fruits and vegetables. So this also reinforces what we've been mentioning, right? That we want the majority of our meals to have these fruits and vegetables, and then the rest of it, the protein and the starch. But we really want to focus on getting fruits and vegetables to be able to get those nutrients and for us to reap the benefits. So we talked about the vitamins that we can find in fruits and vegetables. We talked about portion size with fruits and vegetables. We talked about the actual portion size that's recommended per day. And then we also talked about when we sit down to have an actual meal, what our plate should look like and what our portions should be. Now, going back to the fruits and vegetables, let's talk about other nutrients that we can find in them as well. So one of the nutrients that is really important that we are able to find, particularly in spinach, is iron. Now, iron is really important to our health. It's important for women, particularly women in reproductive age. It's also important for us in general because it helps with our blood. It helps our bodies be able to transport oxygen throughout, and in that way, we are able to have energy. So not only do fruits and vegetables provide vitamins, but they also provide minerals, which are just as important. The other nutrient that fruits and vegetables can provide is fiber, and fiber is really crucial to our health. There is a recommendation of 25 to 30 grams per day, and on average, we in the United States tend to eat about 16 grams per day. So there's a lot of room for improvement. Now, why is fiber important? Fiber is important for our digestive system. Fiber helps us with moving food through the body so that the body is able to absorb nutrients from those foods, and then it's able to get rid of those things that it doesn't need, things that are considered waste. With that, it also helps us to prevent some forms of cancer, and it also helps us with diseases such as diabetes. And so fiber is really important, and we want to make sure, especially if we are not eating other foods that have fiber in them, such as whole grains, beans, nuts, that we get our fiber from our fruits and vegetables. Not only are fruits and vegetables high in fiber, but they're also low in calories. And so while it's giving us fiber, while it's helping us prevent some forms of diseases and cancer, and while it's helping us with our digestive system, making sure that we get enough fiber can also help us with weight management. So again, it is really important for us to make sure that we have our fruits and vegetables, to get our vitamins, to get our minerals, and to get our fiber. And so with that, let's go ahead and now start cooking. So as I mentioned, we are going to make a dish that can either serve as a side dish or as a main dish. Usually when I make this at home, I will eat it as a main dish, and what I do is I add a little bit of cheese to it or just something that can give me some protein. And that way, not only do I get to eat my fruits and vegetables, but the meal is actually more satisfying, right? Because protein helps us feel fuller. So real quickly, let me tell you what is going to go into our meal today. So we have spinach, we have zucchini, we have the white mushrooms, and then here we have garlic, basil, parsley, sage, pepper, and salt. Another vegetable that you can add to this meal is onion. That'll give it more flavor. And in reality, you can pretty much add any vegetable that you like. But these three together seem to work pretty good. It really does have a lot of flavor once we prepare this meal. So I'm really excited to show you how to make it today. So the first thing that I need to do is prepare my vegetables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first take my mushrooms and put them all here. And I'm going to cut them into smaller pieces. So depending on the size of the mushroom, I might cut them into 4 pieces or I might cut them into 6. Now with mushrooms, these here are already washed. And sometimes with mushrooms, you might hear that the way to clean them is actually to just grab like a damp towel and wipe them. I personally prefer to actually wash them. And in fact, I even use a cleaner that is appropriate for fruits and vegetables. However you want to clean your mushrooms, it's really up to you. Just make sure that when you clean them, that you really get all of the dirt out of them, right? Because sometimes they don't just have dirt on top, they might also have dirt that kind of creeps in, right, from under. So make sure that you wash them correctly, okay? When you are cleaning them, like this is the mushroom, right? Here we're looking at the bottom. So make sure that you get in here and just get all of that dirt out that might be trapped in that area. So I'm going to cut my mushrooms into 4 pieces. They're really not that big. Now I am using the white mushrooms, the button mushrooms. Again, you can use whichever kind you like. It's really a very versatile recipe. I just prefer this kind of mushroom, but you can use whichever kind you like. So let me finish cutting these. And this meal, as I had mentioned, is just really, really quick. You can get it done in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, especially if you already have all your vegetables cut. It's really fast to make. All right, so almost there. Let's see. Now, mushrooms, you can actually get these fresh. You can also get them canned. The canned kind don't need any further cooking. But in regards to nutrients, a lot of times people are concerned that if they eat things that are canned or even frozen, that they're not going to be as nutritious as the fresh version. And that's far from the truth. The one thing that we do want to be careful though with anything that is canned is that we want to make sure that it doesn't have any added salt or sugar. But in regards to the nutrients, it should provide the same nutrients. Now, when you decide to drink, let's say, the juice instead of actually eating the fruit or vegetable, then what you have to keep in mind there is the amount of sugar that your juice could potentially have, and also that you are now no longer going to be getting the benefits of the fiber, okay? Because all you are having now is just the juice. So if you could eat the whole fruit or vegetable instead of just drinking the juice, that is always recommended. It is the better choice. And if that's not a possibility, then just keep in mind the amount of sugar that you are going to be drinking, especially if you have a health condition where that can be an issue. And also that when you're talking about juice, you're not talking about a 1 cup serving. When you are talking about juice, the serving is going to be less. So just keep that in mind when your only option is to drink juice instead of actually having the fruit or vegetable. Okay, now with the zucchini, you'll notice that I kept my bowl right here in front of me. I'm not going to actually chop my zucchini into small pieces. What I am going to do is I'm going to take my vegetable peeler and I'm going to create a noodle. And so I just run my peeler down the zucchini like so. I know that there are machines out there that can actually make like spaghetti noodles out of the zucchini. We're actually making more of like a flat noodle, okay? And so this is what we want our noodles to look like. Perhaps there are machines out there, maybe like a mandolin, that we could use to make these noodles. I'm just using a normal vegetable peeler and I'm just running it down the side, just making my noodles. Once I hit the seeds, I can turn it and then continue on the other side. And then once I reach the center, or where I can no longer continue creating noodles, then I just break those pieces into smaller pieces and leave them like that. So I'm gonna do that now. And you will notice from my 3 zucchini that I'm gonna get a lot of noodles, okay? So this dish can actually go a long way. There's that. There's that, and then let me go on this side here. Continue making my noodles. So I'm almost down to where I can no longer shave any more noodles off of my zucchini, so then I'll show you what I'm gonna do at that point. But this is basically all I need to do. Just continue making my noodles. And if you have children and they want to help make dinner, then this is something that they could potentially help with as well. So once I reach the seeds, just press a little bit harder, continue getting noodles, and then see, that broke. So I'm just going to leave it like that. That's done. Then I go on the other side. Now, if you do have children that help you with this meal, make sure that they don't take it to that level, because then they could potentially catch their finger, hurt themselves. So we don't want that to happen. Okay, so just be cautious when children are helping with this particular activity. Okay, and so now I'm going to go ahead and finish my other 2 zucchini, and I will be back once that is done so we can get cooking. Our noodles are now ready. So let me show you the amount of noodles that I was able to make. As I mentioned earlier, it's a pretty good amount. So if you notice here, you see, that's a pretty good amount. And so again, this particular meal, it really does go a long way. Now, regarding the amount of the ingredients that I used today, you don't need to worry about it. At the end of this presentation, you will get to see the recipe, and all you need to do is take a picture of it, and there you have it for when you are ready to prepare this meal. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my electric skillet, get it a little bit warm, and then I'm going to start by sauteing my garlic and my spices just a little bit. I personally like to add my spices at this point. I feel that by sauteing them a little bit in the oil, it actually brings out the flavor. So I'm gonna add these first to the pan along with the mushrooms. So I'm gonna do that now. These go first. I'm gonna spread them out a little bit so that all of them get to touch the pan. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add my mushrooms. I am going to, let's see, I'm gonna move this out of the way so you can see the pan. There we go. And then I'm just going to go ahead and saute my mushrooms. I'm going to bring the camera closer so that you can see what this looks like. I am going to saute my mushrooms until they start releasing a little bit of their liquid. And so you'll notice that they are now coated with the spices, and they are coated with the salt and pepper, so they are going to have a lot of flavor. Okay, so now that they released a little bit of their liquid, I am going to add the spinach. And the spinach, it's pretty much going to start wilting right away. And as soon as that starts to happen, then I can go ahead and add the zucchini noodles. Okay, at this point, the spinach has pretty much almost completely cooked. So I'm going to start adding the zucchini noodles, and I'm not just going to dump them in the pan. I'm going to actually grab them like this and just kind of spread them out because I want to make it easier to mix them with the rest of the ingredients. Okay. Now with my tongue, I'm just going to grab and flip. Until everything is combined. Okay, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and cover the pan and just let it finish cooking. So our meal is now ready. The noodles have cooked, the mushrooms are cooked, the spinach as well, and so now we just need to serve. So let me go ahead and grab a plate. First I'm going to turn this off. Now you'll notice that this released a lot of liquid. You can definitely serve it with or without the liquid. It's up to you. So I want to make sure that I get a little bit of everything. And there is my plate. So with that, we've reached the end of today's cooking demonstration. I hope that you take the opportunity to prepare this meal. I really think you are going to enjoy it. Thank you so much for joining me. We look forward to seeing you virtually again next week and at one of our resource centers as soon as we can. Until then, stay active, healthy, and informed.